Auro. Hello and welcome from Denmark. For this specific tarot reading and message, I want to focus on what feels blocked. I have had a strong insight on focusing this reading on the theme of blockages. What is holding us? In which areas of our lives do we need to loosen up something, or actually clarity and awareness? So I'm going to be using some tarot as usual, and I'm kind of changing the way I'm doing these readings. I feel the need to explore and tap into something else than what I've been previously doing. So I want to focus on the cards and the messages without my face on it. And also I will offer, before we start, a very short sound intro to set you in the right mood, to support you in relaxing and preparing your nervous system and yourself for a calm, collected state, so that you're more open and receptive to receive or to actually tune into what is moving within you, because ultimately it's about you and what you know, what is unconscious perhaps as well. So tarot, animal spirit, and I'm going to use these two oracle decks. But before we start, I will just invite you to relax, to soften, and to tune in, to open up your ears to all the sounds around you, including the sound of my voice and the sounds from the instruments that I'll be using. I'm not going to show them, so if you feel like it, you can also close your eyes and just lean into yourself. If you don't feel like closing your eyes, that's also okay. I just invite you to have an open, inclusive awareness inside and outside. Welcome back. So now we are ready, and I'm just going to start by pulling some cards. I feel like there is something with relationships and triads, like people are caught up. I don't know if this resonates or not already off the bat. And love triangles, like many opportunities, people are just somehow shifting, awakening, connecting with new people that are new, but maybe they are also in relationships at the moment. And I don't know, I see it all around me. So I'm kind of focusing on 2 and 2. Not that this reading will be focused on relationships per se, because I don't want to just do that. But I see there is a trend, maybe. Okay, this one wants to be in it, so I'm just going to leave it out. One more. So let's see what wants to come through. Where are you blocked? Where, in which areas of your life do you need guidance, awareness, softness, support? So with the tarot, let's see. I'm just going to start with some cards, and if we need more cards later, I will pull more cards, and this will be seen a little bit later. So where, what is blocked? Where do you need awareness, softness? The moon. The Knight of Wands. The Four of Swords. The 2. I'm gonna start like that. So we open up with, I actually want to start with the Hierophant, because the Hierophant speaks of that innate foundation of values. Well, not innate, because most of the time, all of the time is also often, I'm being redundant, based upon how you were raised, the culture you come from, the sets of beliefs and the systems that are infused from the place, of the place that you come from. But it actually really forms the person that you are, and where and how you were raised, and the sets of values and beliefs and convictions, and how do you move through life. Like, there is a lot of system here, there's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of learning, there's a lot of your own sense of what is true, what is truth, and what is real. And whatever situation you are, this is at the center. This is somehow what you have to, I want to say, let yourself be guided by, but sometimes this can also be tricky, most of the time, because we can be rooted in a set of beliefs and convictions that are not good for us, that are not good for our relationships or for the environment or for our communities. And this speaks a lot of the systems, of the governments, of the institutions. This speaks of how everything is done, but not only on an external, like on the society, but then it also really influences us in our most private endeavors. So there is something with the Hierophant very latent, very present right now worldwide. I mean, I see it with what's happening in the world, but also in our very close environment, connections, intimate, one-on-one, at home. There is something here that I'm feeling also with the fives. The fives are about growth, about learning, like growing pains. And again, we see the triad. We see like a very heavy figure, a woman or a man or an entity that is somehow guiding, leading the way, saying what is truth or what is not. And then there's two equal kind of disciples below, underneath. So there is also a lot of learning here. There's a lot of establishment. And it feels somehow heavy. It feels heavy. It is often considered the card of marriage because, you know, an institution. I don't really feel it that way here, but we see some people here, of course. There is this queen, not queen, but it looks like a queen. The nine of coins. And this speaks of self-regulating, self-independence, financial stability, reaching to this point of independence, where you know you're probably there in that place where it's like you're on your own. Maybe you are self-sufficient, but something feels clog. I mean, apropos, speaking of blockages, something feels like I love this card. There's a lot of abundance, there's a lot of richness, but there is, you know, it comes at a price, because not everything is about money and finances and wellness and well-being and possessions and material abundance. This bird right here represents that bug, that noise, that not noise, but that sound of intuition. And she's holding it. She has a glove with it. She's not even holding it with the hand. She's holding the money with the hands. But this, she's like keeping a little bit like, you know, at bay with the glove. And it's not even flying. It feels like trap. So this tells me that you are trapped. You are, even though you have a lot of things, you are probably isolated. And that isolation is also from your own intuition. And I feel it strongly with the moon. The moon speaks of things that are not clear, that are hidden. It speaks of our psychological patterns, insights. There are obstacles here. There is the instinctual parts of us, the subconscious, which is actually moving us, ruling us, governing us in some, you know, rooted fundamental way, unconsciously. So there is, I feel some sadness somehow. There is something pressing. And when we look at the second row, we see a very different story, with a Knight of Wands that represents someone with a very light, young, passionate enthusiasm, spirit. It's really opposite. You know, these two people are very opposite. One is like very, I want to say conservative, but it's like very meticulous, very, like this person will go to a resort and rent a really high-end Airbnb, for example, to give you a very crazy example. And this one will not even make a reservation. They would just land on a place and then figure something out once they're there. But they will do it, and they have that determination, they have that stamina, they have that passion. They just get going. And whatever situation you are with and at, it needs rest, it needs stillness. I feel that with the Four of Swords, something has set you off, something has put you in a contemplative contemplative space or mood where you really need this time out to plan, to consider, to take action. This speaks of a move. This speaks of a option. This speaks of a decision and a resolution. I want to take a few more cards because I need more information to see what is actually happening, because I see two people there. I see partnerships with the Hierophant. I see mental blockages, insecurities, doubts, fears creeping in, and the Four of Swords speaks of things not really fully unavailable or visible or known to you, yet you need to make a decision. You need to take some action. I'm going to take this one, and actually this one. So what is happening here? So we start with the star. Let's see if I can just maybe move this up a little bit more. We start with the star. And I see now the Knight of Swords. I often get a lot of resistance with this Knight of Swords. I think there's people around you. I don't know if the situation is per se concerning relationships. It can be something else. It could be work with the Three of Coins. And then we see this Knight of Swords, which is often, you know, if this person will move and get there, you know, without planning too much and just really taking action, this one will not get there, but will imagine getting there and will communicate about it and will ignite and initiate everything with words. And there's a lot of rapid communication. There's a lot of rapid movement also with the Knight of Swords, but it often can lead to misunderstanding, can lead to lack of action, actually, or lack of practicalities. With these two qualities, I would much rather, like, you know, I think I really like the Knight of Wands here. I feel that it's like really balancing this, the Nine of Coins. You know, these two together make a really good pair in the sense of, like, you know, accomplishing things and getting things going. So we have the air and we have the fire, the energy, the stamina, and the practicality, the coins, the earth. And then we have this air element. So there's no cups here, so which tells me that whatever is happening, love needs to come into the equation, emotional understanding, compassion, intuition, emotional intuition. So there's like there's things working and needing some sort of resolution. There is this triad again, the Three of Coins. I often, with the Three of Cups and the Three of Coins, get the feeling of three people, harmony, three aspects, integration, building, planning, and action, and a lot of communication. We have some Gemini cards here. So I don't know, I think you're building something. You're stepping into somewhere. There is a planning, there is, like, you know, there is a project here, whether it's a relationship or home, a new business. The start speaks of your authenticity, speaks of hope, it speaks of, I think this is the love part, this is the emotional part, this is the nurturing part that I was speaking of, that you need to bring into this equation. And again, if you're caught up in some sort of triad, how can you stay true to yourself, stay rooted, stay calm, collected, centered, and yet let others also be themselves? And like there's harmony here. There's got to be harmony here. I feel like pulling more cards for some reason. I don't know why. I want more information about this Knight of Swords. What is this Knight of Swords about? And because I think there's people, you're dealing with people. I think this is also could be a part of you that we got 5s again, the theme of the 5 of the Hierophant. So it's really, there's a theme here of you, of your beliefs, of your lack mentality, the way you have been operating, how you've been moving, and you becoming aware of how you do things, how you engage with people, how there is some sort of sorrow here or sadness. There is, maybe there has been a loss, I think. Something has fallen off, yet you have to keep moving and building and working. The Judgment card, I think this came up yesterday because I did another reading yesterday, and the Judgment card came also. And I want to know a little bit more about this Hierophant. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune. Wow, the 6 of Swords. I'm going to pull this one, another one. A lot of cards of movement, of leaving behind, of transitioning, of moving, of changes. I think that there has been some sort of loss or ending, and I think that with the Judgment also, I feel, I don't know why I strongly feel, maybe this message will be for very few specific people, but the Judgment speaks of an awakening, of a resurrection. I mean, it speaks of endings, of beginnings. It speaks of really answering to a calling, to something, to someone, to what is moving from your heart, what is shifting in your heart, what is your intuition, because whatever is creating this anxiety, this fear, these worries is connected deeply to your calling, to your to an awakening. And this is actually leaving this, we get the cups now. I understand why, like there's no cups here. Something feels really heavily charged emotionally, and I think that whatever is happening, you've been avoiding it, taking action, moving, working, pleasure, or self-care, focus on your body, finances, work. And I think that there is a movement, has been a shift, there has been an ending, something that has caused a lot of sadness, that has set you off wandering into this awakening, this that is calling you. There's something calling you. There's a big shift happening, a big move, and you need to stay clear, determined, focused, but also aware. I think the blockage here, I think the theme is the 5s, is the growing pains, is the challenges, the hardships, the dealing with these difficult situations and with people, and being able to also know and see how you've been operating, how you've been taking decisions from this formational being in you that is perhaps lacking, or feels like lacking, and feels too much actually. And it's like, I think the focus here needs to be the star, like a new voice, find hope, move, take care of your discipline. You have to move. There is a move. You have to take some action. There is a call to take some action towards some harmony or a partnership, or let's see if with the oracle cards we can get a little bit more information regarding what's happening. So we're gonna start actually with these two. Oh my God, expect powerful change. And I think that is not even expect, it's already happening. And I feel this speaks of an eclipse. I think this has been ignited by the eclipse that happens. It says new moon eclipse, which happened 2 weeks ago. So I think it's really connected to this big awakening shift. Whatever has been happening there, whatever it started with the eclipses, it's still moving, and you are feeling it now strongly. And now is the time for, it's not that you should bypass your anxiety and your mental state and if you're depressed or if you're sad, but you cannot, you need to learn to self-regulate and keep moving and go towards that your heart is calling. And wherever you were standing, with whomever you were, with wherever you were working, was not the foundation for you to move, to tap, to connect with your new self, with what is awakening, with a sense of wonder, with movement, with the star, with your North Star, with your purpose. There's a lot of purpose here. Suspect powerful change. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. So we have a new moon and we have a full moon. Right now we are close to a full moon. It's a full moon actually. And I feel that whatever is happening, don't get caught up in this moment. There is something bigger. There's a bigger shift. Try to think of 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 3 months even. So there is something, I think this is a no-go. Whatever is happening is a no-go. Yeah, look at the big picture. It's a very clear message. I really feel it, that there is something really clear, shifting, moving, changing. Something has ended. Something has been painful. We have cacao. Oh my God, what a beautiful omen. I've been drinking so much cacao. As a matter of fact, I have my cacao cup here with me. And I feel that this awakening is moving you towards your heart. It's also releasing all identities, all belief system, all convictions. So whatever you've come across and contact with is just for the sake of this bigger picture, bigger connection, a connection with your heart. Is moving you upwards. It's changing your vibration. It's shifting your consciousness to a heart consciousness, heart mind, heart door, heart connection. So cacao, so I invite you to really drink cacao, to connect with this amazing, soft mother plant. And this is also what I was speaking of, inviting the softness, the emotional, the compassion to this equation, to support you in this big shift that is happening. And then we have Valerian, acceptance. So we have initiation. Yes, you are going through an initiation. You're going through an awakening. It's tough. I've been going through such an intense heart awakening. And it's been the most heart-wrenching and horrible experience of my life. But it is the most amazing, powerful experience that has put me in a place of, I cannot even express this. I cannot even, it's really a new identity, but it's tough, it's painful, and you have to go through it for the sake of your own evolution, growth, and the earth and yourself needs this. It needs a new consciousness, and that's what's happening. Valerian root, an amazing plant for softening. I think that there is some softening. The rat here tells me that you need emotional intelligence in this equation, that you need that to be intelligent, to tap into your innate instinctual nature that is rooted in your heart and that is smart. We got to number 4. So maybe also tap into this plant, like valerian root tea, use, if you can get access to it. I really feel there is this, again, awakening, this transitioning from a very dense part to a much more subtle, light and vibrant and energetic. And you have to go through this door that can feel very, very heavy and dragging, and you know, it's tough. But once you traverse this with the right support, I feel that you need to also surround yourself and support yourself with the start, with hope, with people that, with nourishment, with nature, nurture, and aid yourself with plants. You know, I think this awakening is also opening you up to be more in tune with the cycles of nature, with nature. So we have the raccoon. I think this is the air element. And then we have the phoenix. Yes. I feel that the phoenix speaks of this, you know, rising up from the ashes. There is spirit here. You really have no idea, if you look at the big picture, of who you are becoming. And who you are becoming, it's so powerful, it's so hopeful, it's really what it needs. You know, this needs to happen for you, whatever you're going through, whatever ending, whatever shift, whatever. Because the Four of Swords is also, it speaks of, you know, like when something ends, actually, when something, like, it comes after the Three of Swords, a huge heartache. The raccoon, for me, I have this feeling of, I don't know if you have seen a raccoon mother. They are the most protective, even, you know, very similar to cats. So I feel that there is a need for you to protect yourself, to care for yourself, to be compassionate for yourself through this transition. So yeah, so really be careful, be soft, nourish yourself, take care of yourself through this big shift, and know that this is not the end, and this is not just about what is happening right now. It's like there's a greater purpose. There's so much purpose and hope right now for you. Okay, I'm gonna leave this here. Thank you so much for listening. If you're still there, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment, reach out if you want a personal reading. I have some openings available for this month, and take good care. I'll see you in the next one. Aura.